course, is Dan Beardorf, and what does that mean for the Eagles today, Dan?
Well, the good news is that Matt Cavanaugh, because of Ron's injury occurring last week, practiced all week. He took every snap during practice, and he is ready to play. Keep in mind, he is a veteran quarterback, a 9-year guy. The other thing about the Eagles is this. They really thought that they were going to go head-to-head with the Giants last week, and this is a team that is as flat as a pancake. They're appalled at how they got thrown around by the New York Giants, and it's not necessarily true that you always follow a bad game with a good game. We'll see today with the Eagles.
Now, Dan, Steve Pallure is again going to be a quarterback for the third straight week. Danny White cannot start. He is available, however, but somehow the Cowboys have had a history of being flat, maybe as a pancake, after they played the Redskins.
Yeah, that they have. They've lost the last 3 games after a Redskin victory. So what has happened is this now. They know that they're chasing the Giants. They know they're chasing the Skins. They have got to play well. What's a treat for all of us is to watch Herschel Walker. He may be the game's most dominant offensive player right now. He leads the Cowboys in rushing. He leads them in receiving, and he's not even a starter.
It is a gorgeous day in Philadelphia. The temperature 54 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. And this crowd is revved up. The Cowboys have won the toss. They'll receive. Paul McFadden will be kicking off for Philadelphia. On the left is Robert Levette and Darryl Clack on the right. And we're underway. And it's going over to Darryl Clack at the 2. And he stops shy of the 25-yard line, where the Cowboys will have 1st and 10. Brenard Wilson making the stop for Philadelphia. So the quarterback is Steve Pallure, who was impressive against the Redskins last week. And he'll be facing this Philadelphia defense and a good front 4. Byron Darby, Ken Clark, Reggie White, and Greg Brown. The linebackers are Gary Cobb, Mike Reichenbach, and Alonzo Johnson. And in the secondary, Roynell Young and Evan Cooper at cornerback, Andre Waters and Terry Hogue, the safety. 1st and 10 at the 24. Tony Dorsett. A big hole and a 1st down close to the 35-yard line. Andre Waters making the tackle, and Dorsett is limping. Dorsett missed 2 games in a row with a sprained ankle, and Herschel Walker will replace him.
Well, Tony has been slow the last couple of weeks. Against the Skins last week, he rushed the ball 18 times, only picked up 22 yards. That's only a yard per carry average. Let's watch the replay and see if where he gets it. It's difficult to see, but Tony Dorsett's still standing out on the field. And, of course, the Eagle crowd cheered, Dick, and I don't necessarily know that this is good news for the Eagles when Herschel Walker replaces Dorsett.
It wasn't good news for the Redskins when Walker did all that damage. So Dorsett, who missed 2 games in a row for the first time in his career after he was injured in the Atlanta game, is going to need some assistance. And he has been a durable back throughout his career, though he's not a big guy.
I couldn't agree with you more. Let's take a look at this play from behind. It ends up just being an eye play. He follows Newsome through the hole. He caught right there. It looked like he caught his right leg on Timmy Newsome's leg as Timmy was making the block. I'm not sure if that's exactly where he injured himself or not, but Tony Dorsett out of this football game. We'll get an injury report to you as quickly as we can.
A gain of 11 for Dorsett. It's a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line for the Cowboys. Steve Pallure completes to Tony Hill. And he stopped at the 40-yard line by Evan Cooper, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. The rest of the offense for the Cowboys in the backfield now will be Herschel Walker and Timmy Newsome. Tony Hill and Mike Renfro are the wide receivers. An offensive line, Mark Tuinay, Glenn Titensor, Tom Rafferty, Crawford Kerr, and Phil Posderick. Doug Cosby's the tight end. 2nd down and a long 4. Pallure swings it out to Herschel Walker. And Walker has a 1st down before going out of bounds at the 49 by Roynell Young. And the idea with Walker is just to get him the ball no matter where it is.
Herschel Walker surprises everyone in his abilities as a receiver. He's going to come out of the backfield, a simple flare pattern. He's going to be covered by a linebacker, and that's a matchup that the Cowboys want to see all day long. Here comes the linebacker from out of the middle, but look at the one-handed catch. And Gary Cobb has a long way to go to try to cover Walker, and he can't do it.
First down, and now Walker with Mark Tuiné blocking gets another first down for the Cowboys inside the Philadelphia 40. Terry Hogue, the free safety, making the tackle, a gain of 13, and Walker shows his running skills on that play. Tony Dorsett, distressed obviously with that injury, and so far it's been an injury-plagued season for Tony.
And I'm sure his injury has now sent the Cowboy offensive coaches scrambling. Their game plan was built around having Tony in the backfield and allowing Walker to be the guy in motion. Now that Walker is taking Dorsett's place, that's out the window.
First and 10 at the 38. And it's Walker getting a block from Timmy Newsom to about the 33-yard line, and the report from the Dallas bench is that Tony Dorsett may indeed be back. Ken Clark making the tackle for Philadelphia. Herschel Walker, who has already scored 7 touchdowns this year for the Cowboys. Dan Reeves has the club record of 16, set 10 years ago.
And again, I just want to re-emphasize it's his abilities as a receiver that have everyone just standing around with their mouths hanging open. We've already seen a one-handed catch. He beats beats the Redskins rather last week with his receiving, and that is what's taken everyone by surprise.
Mike Sherrard, the fleet wide receiver, number 86, is in for the Cowboys on 2nd and 6. Walker, penalty marker is down, and Walker gets inside the 30, close to first down yardage. Tackled by Byron Darby, the defensive left end, but there's a flag down. The referee today is Red Cashin, and he'll tell us all about it. It'll be against the Eagles. Buddy Ryan, who says today will be a challenge for the defense. He feels his team will be able to move the ball offensively. I don't know how he feels with Matt Cavanaugh, though, at quarterback and not Jaws.
And especially a team that didn't go over 100 yards in total offense last week until the game was almost over. Tom Landry knows the quality of his club, though. But any way you want to look at it, the Giants and the Skins are out front.
Lined up in the neutral zone. Number 43 on the defense. Still second down.
That was Roynell Young, the left cornerback.
Buddy Ryan saying to himself, how can my cornerback line up in the neutral? You know, you're supposed to play close on the bump and run, but I don't know about that close.
It is second down and less than a yard for the Cowboys. 11:35 to go in the first quarter. Walker goes in motion. And Timmy Newsom has a first down for the Cowboys inside the 25. He's the second leading rusher for the Cowboys is Timmy Newsom, and he's had some good days against the Eagles in the past, and another Dallas first down.
What Paul Hackett, their offensive coordinator, told us was that he wanted to find out when Walker went in motion who was going to go with him. And right here we see Alonzo Johnson, the linebacker. Even though Newsom ends up with the ball, the Cowboys found out what they wanted to find out. They've got a linebacker one-on-one with Herschel Walker. Timmy Newsom behind the great blocking, and of course you've got Walker as a lead blocker out in front, and he's an effective blocker as well.
Steve Pallure, only in his 3rd year, 24 years old. First and 10 for the Cowboys. On the 22, he's going for Doug Cosby. Touchdown, Dallas. And Dave, Doug Cosby has been kind of the odd man out with the rookie Sherrard and Walker on the scene.
Well, here again, it's one-on-one coverage with a linebacker, Alonzo Johnson, trying to run with a tight end. Clearly, you can see the mismatch. Pallure drops the ball right in, and it's a Dallas touchdown. And the reason that Johnson was going one-on-one, they came with a safety blitz. Andre Waters came up the middle, and the Cowboy offensive line picked up the blitz, gave Pallure the time, 6 points.
And Rafael Septien with Pallure holding. tied for the NFL lead with 22 conversions coming into this game. And he makes it 23, and the Cowboys lead 7-0 on Doug Cosby's first touchdown reception of 1986.
The Cowboys have been worried about Doug Cosby. Over 60 catches last year, a big part of this offense. And now because of the success of Walker, has kind of been the forgotten man. They get him the ball early. He's open. He's got the touchdown. The Cowboys look awful good.
Cowboys impressive. The only damper is Dorsett's injury. Dick Stockton and Dan Deerdorf back at Veterans Stadium, where the Cowboys have scored on the first possession. Doug Cosby on a 22-yard reception from Steve Pallure, and Rafael Septien will be kicking off. There is the scoring drive, using up 4.5 minutes. Charles Crawford will be back along with Junior Totalatazi, and it's heading for Crawford at the 6. And he is upended at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Eagles will go on offense for the first time.
What made it all possible on the touchdown to Cosby, this is Andre Waters lined up right here, the strong safe. He's going to come in on the blitz, and he's going to be blocked by Herschel Walker. One, that gives the time to Steve Pallure. Secondly, it forces single coverage back in the secondary. Even though Walker didn't knock him down, he slowed him, and that gives Cosby the one-on-one on Alonzo Johnson. Easy touchdown.
So the Eagles have Matt Cavanaugh at quarterback at the 21-yard line. And Charles Crawford is stopped in his tracks by Eugene Lockhart. Crawford making his first NFL start, a rookie. The defense for the Dallas Cowboys: Ed Jones, John Dutton, Randy White, and Jim Jeffcoat up front. The linebackers are Mike Hegman, Eugene Lockhart, who made that play, and Jeff Rohrer. And the secondary, Everson Walls and Ron Fellows at corners, and Bill Bates and Michael Downs at safety. A loss of a yard, make it 2nd and 11. Back at the 20. And this time it's Michael Haddix. And the Eagles on the ground for the first 2 plays. And will face a 3rd and long, making the stop there, Mike Hegman and Michael Downs. Randall Cunningham comes in on 3rd and long, depending on the situation. What's the cutoff time today?
Well, it's different every game. Today it's 3rd and 8. Buddy Ryan told us yesterday that that's his breakoff point. Anything beyond that, it's going to be Randall Cunningham that comes into the game.
And you can see he's not had all that much success.
No, he hasn't. Of course, I don't know that any of us would, thrown into a situation like when it's your only game exposure, it's tough.
3 wide receivers in the game. Cavanaugh fires incomplete, intended for Mike Quick. And defending on the play for the Cowboys was Everson Walls, and that's one of the matchups that the Eagles want to work on. Quick has been hampered as of late, and they think they can work on Everson Walls today.
Well, Everson Walls, if he's known for anything, it's his reaction to the football and his ability to recover from being out of position. He's a pretty slow cornerback by NFL standards, and Mike Quick, Everson Walls one-on-one, you'd say it's a physical mismatch, but look at the way Walls has played over the years. But you're right, it is the matchup the Eagles would like to get.
Gordon Banks is back for the Cowboys, and John Telchik will be kicking for Philadelphia. A line drive kick in Banks at the 33. And a fine tackle at the 37-yard line, and that could have been more damage. A 5-yard return, William Frizzell making the stop, and another injured player, that's Crawford. By the way, injured an ankle on Thursday. The Eagles starting tailback, and he is shaken up now. Timeout on the field with 8:48 remaining in the first quarter. 7-0, the Cowboys lead. Capacity crowd at Veterans Stadium on a gorgeous afternoon for football. We've had a couple of players shaken up, one right now, Charles Crawford, but Tony Dorsett, good news for Cowboy people, back in the ball game now after leaving after the first play of the game when he gained 11 yards. However, Charles Crawford is still being tended to and is now up on his feet.
This is the end of the punt return for the Cowboys. Oh, Crawford got it on a block. That was, let me see, is that Bill Bates? Looks like Bill Bates came in and put a heck of a shot on Charles Crawford, and I would have to, if I venture to guess, I'd say he's shaken up and stunned.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys on their own 38. And it's Dorsett. And Gary Cobb throws him for a loss of 3 yards on the play. Big play by Cobb. Right now for an NFL Today update, here's Brent Musburger.
Dick, the Minnesota Vikings strike first on the Chicago Bears. Tommy Kramer's 14th touchdown pass of the season. He leads the National Football League. Alfred Anderson goes in, but Dan Hampton blocked the extra point. 6-0 Vikings over the Bears. Let's go back to the Dallas-Philadelphia game. And Dick.
Thank you, Brett. And of course, the Vikings were shut out the last time they played 2 weeks ago in Chicago. Meanwhile, it's 2nd and 12 on the 36. Dorsett, and Dorsett brings it out to the 42-yard line. Andre Waters making the stop, still shy of a first down by about 6 yards or so, as scores start to filter in from around the NFL.
Looks like Tony's leaving the ball game. Herschel Walker into the lineup, and you really have to admire Tony Dorsett and his physical toughness. Dick made a reference earlier to his slightness of build, and yet he's taken the punishment over the years, and every time that he's been hurt, he's always back before you expect him.
3 wide receivers for the Cowboys, including their rookie Mike Sherrard, who's come on. And now we have an official's timeout concerning the clock.
Steve Pallure was asking the referee to reset the 30-second clock. Getting our first discussion of the day among the officials.
And we met Pallure for the first time last night, and most impressed with his poise.
Yes, and so are the Cowboy coaches.
To put the ball in play. 12 seconds.
12 seconds, according to the official.
Well, he's not going to get his reset of the clock, so the Cowboys will have to stay at the line of scrimmage. But Steve Pallure, you're right, a very poised, low-key individual. Cowboy coaches, they're in love with him.
And he doesn't want any part of any quarterback controversy in Dallas. They've had enough of that. 3rd and 5, Pallure. And Pallure going for the rookie Sherrard out of bounds. Evan Cooper was covering Mike Sherrard. And it'll go as an incompleted pass.
Sherrard on the sideline pattern, way open. There's one. Clearly out of bounds. The official right on the spot makes a good call.
Sherrard, who has come on strong as the #1 draft pick. And there's Mike Saxon. He'll be kicking to Evan Cooper, and Saxon has been most impressive in getting the ball inside the 20. Good kick. Saxon, and a fair catch call as the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback. A 58-yard kick by Mike Saxon. And when we come back to Veterans Stadium, it'll be Eagles 1st and 10 on their 20. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, and with Crawford on the bench, Keith Byers, the #1 draft pick out of Ohio State, who is the leading rusher for the Eagles, even though he is averaging under 3 yards a carry, gets back into the lineup.
But it's been his blocking that has really raised the ire of Buddy Ryan. Last week, Lawrence Taylor hurdles one of his blocks, hurts Ron Jaworski, and as a result, he got benched.
1st and 10 at the 20 for Matt Cavanaugh. He'll throw, and he'll throw deep. Way overthrown, intended for Mike Quick. Walls was covering. Cavanaugh has made 4 cameo appearances coming into this game so far this year, but has thrown just 9 passes entering the ball game. But he was a highly regarded backup in Bill Walsh's eyes at San Francisco.
And he came to Philadelphia with the intention of being the starter. I think Buddy Ryan had him penciled in. He wasn't a big Ron Jaworski fan. And Matt Cavanaugh, I think, had the job coming in. But Ron Jaworski, well, all you can say about him is that he rose to the occasion. He kept his starting job and kept it by a good margin.
A year ago, Jaworski led the Eagles to victory here against the Cowboys.
He's always played well against Dallas.
2nd and 10.
285.
Byers. Nowhere to go. Good recovery first down. Michael Downs makes the stop on a 16-yard play. Well ad-libbed by the rookie.
More often than not, when a running back gets hit at the line of scrimmage, tries to spin to the outside, he gets caught for an even bigger loss. But this time, excellent second effort by Keith Byers. Absolutely nothing in the middle, nothing but blue shirts. You know, you can coach a lot of things, but you can't coach that. Michael Downs finally runs him out of bounds, and Byers drops the ball. That's a risk. If that happens in the middle of the field, they may not get it back.
And that's the longest run from scrimmage by a Philadelphia running back so far this year. And the first down for the Eagles at the 35. Swinging around to Quick. Mike Quick gets loose and has another Eagle first down at the 47. Jeffcoat and Walls that time, and a pickup of 13.
Excellent play action fake the other way. Draws everything away from Mike Quick, just the short screen. And look at Kenny Jackson, who comes out in front and throws the block on Ron Fellows. There's one wide receiver helping out his mate. Kenny Jackson with the good block, but it was the play action fake by Kavanaugh that made that play happen.
Quick has caught only 3 passes in the last 2 games, and the Eagles are trying to find a way of getting him free. It's 1st and 10 on the Philadelphia 48.5. Here's Byers. Barely gets into Cowboy territory at the 49, and a gain of about 2. Tackle there by Rohrer and John Dutton, who's been outstanding for so many years against the run.
The Eagles so desperately want to get a running game going. Dallas knows that. They're playing the flex defense on 1st and 2nd downs, just flooding the line of scrimmage. The Eagles, one of the worst rushing teams in the league, desperately need a running game if they're to compete in this league. You just can't win without it. The Miamis are very few and far between, and look what's happening to them this year, relying solely on the pass.
Byers' big game was against the Rams when the Eagles knocked off John Robinson's team. 2nd and 8 at the 49. Plenty of time, and John Spagnuolo nearly made another great catch. He made one similar to that against the Giants last week. Close this time. Lockhart was on him.
There aren't many tight ends in the game that have softer hands than John Spagnuolo. This ball thrown way behind John, and he tries to make the reaction. He stops his route, gets the left hand up, but can't bring in the football. That would have been a circus catch.
And Randall Cunningham has come into the ball game for the Eagles on 3rd and 8 at the 49, and the first time we've seen him today.
And he said he has 3 responsibilities: drop back, read, and run. He's there to run more than he is to throw.
Looking to throw all the way, and incomplete for Mike Quick. Covered by Walls, and right now for an NFL Today report, let's check in once again with Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Dick. Steve Fuller coughed it up for the Bears. Back came Tommy Kramer, Anthony Carter, and Carter outran the secondary. 60 yards for the Viking touchdown. This time they kicked the extra point. That's the 15th TD of the year, and the upset's brewing. Let's go back to Dick.
A shocker indeed, Brent, is brewing at the Metrodome, where it's 13-0. Meanwhile, John Telchik will be kicking for the 2nd time, and Gordon Banks is deep for the Cowboys. Good high kick. Fair catch called for, and that too rolls into the end zone. 49-yard punt by Telchik. And so it'll be the Dallas Cowboys 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Tom Landry with the headset. Paul Hackett, his offensive guru, so to speak, upstairs. Steve Pallure. Steve Pallure coming into the game with Philadelphia. Threw for 323 yards. A Cowboy high last week. Dorsett in motion. Walker is with him. Big pressure, and Herschel Walker receiving is down at the 22. You got to make sure you tackle him, and Greg Brown did that.
All day yesterday they told us you've got to get in Herschel Walker's face. We want to get there early.
Steve Pallure, starting his 3rd game, talked about the importance of this game with Philadelphia.
Well, I think this is equally as important as last week. We've got a 3-game stretch with division opponents. So I think it's another critical game for us.
And it is. 2nd and 7 at the 23. Walker and Dorsett in the backfield. Ballure hits his man, Tony Hill. Evan Cooper was there, shy of a first down by about 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and short. Closer to a yard.
Tony Hill looked like he thought that he was far enough on his forward progress before he got thrown back by Cooper to get the first down, but they're going to make the Cowboys work for it. 3rd, and it looks like, what, Dick, what do you think, 2 feet maybe?
Yeah, it looked like 2 yards. Now it looks like 2 feet. Thornton Chandler, the rookie from Alabama, is in as a second tight end. Newsom is the up back. They go to Walker. First down. Out to the 34-yard line. Roynell Young making the stop on Herschel Walker.
One of the things that Herschel Walker does so well is when they have a short yardage situation, when you put him at the I-back, because of the size, he's going to work left. Doug Cosby here in motion. We've got 2 and A on the left side of the line. We're going to get good solid blocking all the way. But Herschel, because of his size, really an added addition on short yardage, but that was superior blocking up front.
1st and 10 at the 34. Once again, Dorsett and Walker together. And it's Walker. Gets nothing there. What do the Eagles say about trying to bring down Herschel Walker?
Well, they say that if we're going to tackle Herschel Walker, we have to do it right after he gets his hands on the football. And I guess they're talking more or less when he's a receiver. Against Washington, he made the big impacts after he got moving a little bit. And because of his size, because of his speed and his open field abilities, they don't want anything to do with Herschel Walker after he's had a 5-yard run. They're going to try to be in his face close to the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 9 for the Cowboys on their 35 with 2:28 to go in the first quarter. Dallas leading 7-0. And this time Dorsett. Good counter move inside, and Dorsett out to the 42-yard line. They'll spot it at the 41. Will be shy of a first down by about 4 yards. And Reggie White making the stop for the Eagles. A gorgeous day for football, or for that matter anything else in Philadelphia. Not a cloud in the sky, brilliant sunshine, and a capacity crowd. And they bought the tickets early, a month ago, for this clash. And in Philadelphia, this is a big game. 3rd down and 3 at the 41. Ballure knocked away, and a fine defensive play. The pass was intended for Renfro, and it was Roynell Young who made a good play. It'll be 4th down.
Just the sideline pattern by Renfro, but Roynell Young, look at the inside positioning. Back into the football. It's an easy move for Roynell, and he by far and away the most experienced member of the backfield here with the Eagles that time. Excellent coverage on Renfro.
Saxon will kick. Evan Cooper is back. And it takes a Dallas bounce. Inside the 10, where it'll be down then, and the Eagles will have poor field position when we return. Capacity crowded Veterans Stadium, and the Dallas Cowboys leading the Philadelphia Eagles 7-0 in the first quarter. 1:20 remaining. Dick Stockton and Dan Deerdorf, and the Cowboys looking to win 2 in a row for the first time since their opening 2 games of the year. They've got the Eagles in a hole somewhat at the 7-yard line. 1st and 10 for Matt Cavanaugh.
And this is something that really hurt Philadelphia last week against New York, was poor field position all day long. And it's a very conservative Philadelphia offense, and they really got to work to score even from 40 and 50 yards out. This far away, it's almost going to take a big play, like somebody like Quick or somebody's going to have to come through.
He fires, was slowed up, faces off 2 tacklers and gets something out of nothing. And Byers brings it out to the 13. Ed Jones and Bill Bates combine to make the tackle. And so far, Byers looks like a #1 draft pick on a couple of carries.
That he does, and you have to wonder if the Buddy Ryan School of Psychology isn't starting to surface right here on Keith Byers. He was benched, didn't get to start the game, but look at a couple of the runs that he's made. He gets away from Ed Jones, spins back. John Dutton got a shot at him. It looks like Bates rather has him in the backfield, but again, another good effort that time by Keith Byers.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 at the 12. A little breathing room for Matt Cavanaugh. And a quick opener to Michael Haddix. Haddix to the 15-yard line. Will be shy of a first down by a couple. The stop by the 2 tackles for Dallas, John Dutton and Randy White. Keep in mind, with 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter, that the Eagles have not scored a touchdown in their last 6 quarters, and they're on their way to 7.
The oldest defensive line in the game of football. Ed Jones at 35, John Dutton at 35, Randy White at 33. Jim Jeffcoat just a kid.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. The end of the first quarter with the Dallas Cowboys leading the Philadelphia Eagles 7-0.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Lite, proud sponsor of NFL Lineman of the Year. There's only one light beer, Miller Lite. Chrysler Motors and its automotive divisions, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Dodge Trucks, working together to be the best. And by the investment firm of Smith Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
We start the second quarter here at Veterans Stadium. Dick Stockton and Dan Deerdorf. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Eagles. Cowboys lead 7-0. Steve Pallure, a 22-yard touchdown pass to Doug Cosby. Charles Crawford is back in the ball game and carries and gets a first down for the Eagles to the 22-yard line. Eugene Lockhart and Bill Bates on the tackle. So Crawford, who was shaken up and started the ball game, gets the first down.
When you start a drive close to your own end zone, you think first downs more than you think points. Just watch the right side of the Eagle offensive line making the blocks. John Dutton's going to get removed from the football, and Charles Crawford is going to have the nice lane. Look at Dutton back off of the football. Crawford makes the makes the cut. That time Ron Baker, his right guard, came up with a big block.
Getting out of trouble. The Eagles with a first down. Cavanaugh goes down, and Bill Bates, as if he were a bounty hunter, was going after Matt Cavanaugh, who wisely ducked and took the big loss inside the 15. Loss of 8 on the play.
This time Billy Bates, rather than laying back in coverage, comes up to force the issue. You've got to do that when a quarterback rolls out of the pocket. Cavanaugh, discretion, the better part of valor, takes a seat.
Dan, I know you've been with some clubs that really struggle offensively. Now that you're done with the game and you're up here in the comfort of the booth.
Well, the thing about offensive football is that all 11 people have to perform their job successfully. You know, defensively, if you make an error and you're away from the ball, you get away with it. Not so offensively. 10 guys throw a great block, do their job. One guy messes up, you don't go anywhere.
You mean it's a team game?
Yeah, especially offensively.
Second down and long, and Junior Tautalatasi was wide open, and Cavanaugh missed him by a mile. The Cowboys have their 4-0 defense in there, including Don Smerick, who came back last week in pass rushing situations.
Defensive coordinator Ernie Stautner, Hall of Fame defensive lineman, sends in the signals. On the 4-0, Jesse Penn, Vince Albritton, and Johnny Holloway come in and replace the 3 starting linebackers, Hegman, Lockhart, and Rohr.
And Randall Cunningham with the unenviable situation of coming in on 3rd and 1 million.
Well, it's longer than 3rd and 8.
It sure is. At the 14. Cunningham goes deep. Kenny Jackson. And he had it. Ron Fellows covered, and Kenny Jackson had the ball in his grasp, though he had to turn around.
I want to see if Ron Fellows got a hand on the football or not. to the outside. Kenny Jackson just straight away. Ron Fellows measuring the football. Does he get a hand on it? No, it didn't look like it. He got his hands up, maybe blocked Kenny Jackson's view, but that ball was certainly catchable.
60 yards in the air. Kenny Jackson couldn't hold on, and John Telchik will now punt from the goal line, and Gordon Banks near midfield for the Cowboys. Short kick, line drive. Banks into Eagle territory, is dropped there, but the Cowboys will take it. A 39-yard kick, and the tackle by Junior Tortolatazi and Jody Schultz.
You realize the significance of what we've seen so far? We haven't seen a flag on a kicking game yet.
Gary Cobb has been an outstanding linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, and one of the responsibilities he may have today is to try to stop Herschel Walker. Here's what he has to say.
Well, going to him, you got to, first of all, you got to get to him as quick as possible. You don't want him to turn around and get your head up, where it can go either way. Other than that, you want a gang tackle, so anytime he's in open field, anytime he gets the ball, you got to have everybody going to the ball and not expecting somebody else to make the tackle.
First and 10 Cowboys on the Eagle 48. Pallure with loads of time. Going for Mike Sherrard. And it's tipped away by Roynell Young. Great play by Young.
Beautifully played all the way by Roynell Young. He can still run. Mike Sherrard, an exceptionally fast receiver, but he was right there. Roynell Young had the football measured all the way. You can't even call that a good reaction. He had that played just right all the way from the line of scrimmage.
It'll be second down and 10. Pallure getting tremendous protection back there. Dorsett outside and picks up good yardage. Dorsett to the 41-yard line, and a gain of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Cowboys. Byron Darby and the middle linebacker Mike Reichenbach in on the stop. Herschel Walker comes into the ball game now.
I was going to say, Dick, that sometimes young running backs, in their impatience to make something happen, sometimes outrun their blockers. That time, I think Dorsett, it was a beautiful illustration of having patience as a running back, letting everyone in front of you perform their duties and then take advantage of their good work.
The rushing Story. Pallure to throw. He's got Sherrard. Did he hold on? He did. And it's a Dallas first down at the 28. Evan Cooper covering. And a pickup of 13 for the rookie from UCLA.
A designed rollout to the left side gets Pallure outside the Eagle rush. Mike Sherrard with the speed. Look how he spun Evan Cooper all the way around. That's poor technique by Cooper. You can't turn your shoulders like that. Boy, and Sherrard did a good job of getting down and scooping up the football.
He's caught 3 touchdown passes so far this year. Tied for the club lead with Timmy Newsom. First and 10 at the Eagle 28. 7-0 Dallas. Pallure going the opposite way to Walker. Open field. But Alonzo Johnson was there, and he made a tackle that might have saved a touchdown.
Alonzo Johnson that time fought off the block of left tackle. Here's Mark Tuinei, the tackle. Alonzo Johnson right here. They're both going to come out. Johnson's going to beat the block of Tuinei and make the play. Watch Tuinei go. Now he's going to come back into the play. There goes Tuinei to make his block. Johnson beats it and gets in and makes the tackle on Herschel Walker, and that's exactly what the Eagles said they wanted to do. Get in Walker's face near the line of scrimmage.
He's a good-looking rookie out of the University of Florida, Alonzo Johnson. Loss on the play, 2nd and 12 at the 30. Pallure out of the pocket. And dives to the 20-yard line. Will be short of a first down by 2 yards. A gain of 10, and a lot of quarterbacks, Dan, like to slide feet first, but not Steve Pallure on that play.
Well, he'll learn the technique sooner or later. Someone in the secondary or the linebacking corps will teach him a lesson. you'll live a lot longer if you go in feet first on the hook slide, because then you get some protection. That's the difference between Danny White and Steve Pullour in the eyes of the Cowboy coaches. Danny White is 34, Pullour is 24. His mobility is that much better than Danny White. He can do those sort of things. Danny White doesn't any longer.
And Danny White, who has been a big help to Pullour, by the way, flashing in the signs at the sideline. 3rd and 2, and now the Cowboys are going to use one of their timeouts with 10:08 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Dallas. The Cowboys have used up one of their timeouts, and Pullour, coming back to the huddle, has completed 7 of 10 passes for 56 yards. And the touchdown to Cosby, the only score of the game. 3rd down and 2. And flags all over the place. It's going to be against the Cowboys.
False start. Number 63 on the offense. Still 3rd down.
Glenn Tittenser, the left guard.
And when he went, Mark Tuinei, the left tackle, went with him as well. The Cowboy offense is so intricate, and then when they get to the line of scrimmage, they make so many calls that oftentimes you'll see one of their offensive linemen gets a little confused and starts early.
And the offensive line has not been the most stable of areas for the Cowboys.
No, when you look at the Cowboys and look at their special people, their skilled people, I mean, it's simply superb. If there's one thing that keeps this from being the best offensive machine in the game, it is their offensive line.
3rd down and 7. Pullour got his man, Herschel Walker. And let's see where his forward motion is, and it should be enough for a first down to the 16. So a big 3rd down play, and Walker on the receiving end, and a gain of 14 and a Cowboy first down.
When you run Herschel Walker on the intermediate routes, you force the defense to try to cover him with a linebacker. The break to the inside puts him in the territory of Mike Reichenbach. Reichenbach, as you see, falls behind, can't make the tackle, and it's Alonzo Johnson that has to come in with a tackle on Herschel Walker. That's good offensive game plan, good execution by Dallas.
They're at the 16, first down. And a handoff to Timmy Newsom from the other side. Not your conventional handoff, but the kind of play the Cowboys have used before. Greg Brown on the stop. So the Cowboys, with Herschel Walker in the lineup, have gone other ways besides their natural receivers.
Well, as you can see, look at the increase from 34 to 48% in the use of their backs in the passing game from 85 to 86. And that, for no other reason, is because of the presence of number 34, Herschel Walker.
2nd down and 9 at the 15. 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first half. 3 wide receivers. Pullour going for Sherrard, and it's intercepted by Roynell Young. That's why they don't go to Roynell Young's way all that often. First interception of the year for Young.
And I think the Cowboys got exactly what they wanted. We're going to get the safety blitz coming up the middle. Watch everyone go. They've got single coverage in the backfield, but Roynell Young, he makes the coverage. He makes the coverage and the play. When you bring 8 people, you ought to get to the quarterback, or you need the big play. They didn't get to the quarterback, but they got the big play from Roynell Young. Look how he plays the ball. It's severely underthrown by Pullour, and Roynell Young shows why he's a Pro Bowler.
1st and 10 at the 12. Matt Cavanaugh to Kenny Jackson, and a Philadelphia first down at the 23-yard line. The stop was made by Everson Walls and Mike Hegman. Jackson had a tremendous game last year against the Cowboys, best of his career with 6 catches and 134 yards. And the first of the year, as we said, for Roynell Young.
And the 16th career interception, and Roynell Young, a 2-time Pro Bowler. What an exciting football player. Now it's up. Hey, it's strictly up now, Dick, to the Philadelphia offense. They've got to do something.
Gain 12 on that play. They're at the 24. And Charles Crawford hit immediately. Bill Bates came up from strong safety to make the tackle. He was questionable with a sprained ankle, but he's tough to keep out of that lineup.
Bill Bates is in the right spot. Here he is lined up at strong safety. He's going to come up with the quick fill on the run support, but he's not going to make the tackle. Watch the collision between he and Crawford. Bang, right there, but Crawford fights on for another couple of yards. Good hit by Bill Bates, but he wasn't able to wrap up.
It'll be 2nd and 9 at the 25. Kavanaugh, 2 of 6. Been a long drought for the Eagles offense. Kavanaugh. Mike Quick had a hand on it, and Crawford was deep. The man he wanted was Quick, and he was covered by Ron Fellows.
The ball was overthrown. The Eagles almost came out of this with a reception. There's Mike Quick working in the slot, the sideline break, but the ball over his head. Look how close. Oh, we couldn't pick it up, but Crawford came close to catching the tip ball.
And Randall Cunningham is in on 3rd and 9. Designated 3rd and long quarterback. By the way, is the 3rd leading rusher for the Eagles. 4 wide receivers split. Cunningham has the first down. Great speed showed by Randall Cunningham as he gets to the 44 and a gain of 20. And that's the longest rush from scrimmage by an Eagle player this season.
When I talked to Ernie Stautner yesterday, he said, I don't care about the sack, but I must have containment from my guys up front. Cunningham's going to break it. He's going to come up the middle and do exactly what the Cowboys feared, get the first down running the football. It's a missed tackle by Randy White, and Randall Cunningham relies on his athletic ability. It's not a happy Dallas sideline after a pickup like that.
Manny Hendricks made the stop. 1st and 10 at the 45. Michael Haddix with a quick opener to the 49, and Eugene Lockhart makes the tackle on Haddix, a former #1 draft pick who had been disappointing, but so far this year, according to Buddy Ryan, to appreciate him, you have to look at the film.
And he said that last week's debacle with the New York Giants, and Michael Haddix was one of the few players that played a very good football game. And of course, he was in Buddy's doghouse early. He rode the bench during the preseason.
I think everyone is sooner or later, or at one time or another. 2nd and 5 at midfield. Kavanaugh completes it to Kenny Jackson, and it should be another Philadelphia first down. Mike Hegman on the play.
We've all heard about Dallas and their flex defense. 2 of their defensive linemen are back off of the football. That means they've only got 2 guys that can get into the pass rush quickly, and that's why we're going to see Philadelphia on this occasion went ahead and threw the football. Teams like to throw against the flex defense because, as you can see, 2 of those guys have a tough time getting to the quarterback from off the football.
At the 44 of Dallas, 1st and 10. 4:53 remaining in the first half. Kavanaugh has time. And he had no receivers downfield. Credit the Dallas coverage.
Well, I think we do have to credit the Cowboy secondary for good coverage. But then again, there's nothing wrong with just throwing the football away either. It's kind of disheartening to your offense when a quarterback just runs over to the sidelines and just steps out of bounds. All he had to do was throw it to one of the officials on the sideline, and you're back to the original line of scrimmage rather than taking a sack.
2nd and 11 at the 45. 4:41 remaining in the first half. Cowboys lead at 7-0. The Eagles weren't set in the backfield as Kavanaugh throws it away.
Motion all the way against the Eagles. Both of their backs were moving at the same time.
Red Cashin is our referee.
Illegal motion, 2 backs both proven. Penalty is refused. It'll be 3rd down.
We're at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia on a gorgeous day. Dick Stockton and Dan Deerdorf in an NFC Eastern battle between the Dallas Cowboys, 4-2, and the Eagles 2-4, and the Cowboys lead at 7-0, and the Eagles trying to make something of a tough, poor offense so far.
And with the incomplete pass, Dallas just goes ahead and declines a penalty, and here's Mr. Cunningham.
He ran for 20 the last time. In trouble here. Trying to get away, and he stopped back on his own 45. Bill Bates finally made the play. Cunningham had no chance.
This time Ed Jones works his way upfield. We're also going to get good pressure in the middle from Smerrick and Randy White. Even though it's Bill Bates that comes in and makes the play, it's Randy White that first forces him. Too tall misses him. But then look at the contain. You see the way Bates worked upfield. Rather than come from the middle when Too Tall lost contain, Bates assumed his responsibility and made the play.
He has 2 of the 3 sacks for the Cowboys as Gordon Banks goes back for the 3rd time. John Telchik kicks it away. Not a long kick, it's a high kick. And the ball takes a Philadelphia bounce. And a Dallas roll to the 21. Timeout with 3:58 to go in the first half. Dan, it's kind of unfair to ask you a question when something apparently isn't working for the Eagles, but the Randall Cunningham maneuver of 3rd and long, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it gets a lot of raised eyebrows around the league. I mean, if I'm Randall Cunningham, I'd almost look for a place to hide on the bench. Every time you go in the ball game, it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15. And then you're against a team like the Dallas Cowboys that blitzes so often. I wouldn't want his job. Let's put it that way.
I heard you were being offered his job, by the way.
I refuse.
1st and 10 at the 21. Tony Dorsett slices off right tackle. Jeff Rohr checked that. Alonzo Johnson making the tackle on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
You know, getting back to the Randall Cunningham situation, they have had some success. In other words, Buddy Ryan maintains, you know, it doesn't look like Randall is doing much, but if you look at what we do in terms of what our normal quarterback succeeds on that 3rd and long situation, his numbers are even better. That Cunningham even has a better conversion rate than if he would leave Jaworski in the ballgame.
And of course, Jaworski on the sidelines with that elbow injury, and Matt Cavanaugh looks rusty, even though he's played 4 games prior to this. On 2nd and 8, Pelora wide open, Doug Cosby, and a 1st down for the Cowboys at the 44. Andre Waters covering on the play. And tell you one thing, that was a 21-yard pickup, but Pelora's getting tremendous protection.
That he is, and Doug Cosby is getting something he's wanted all year, and that's a few balls thrown his way. Herschel Walker's been gobbling up not only the headlines, but the reception as well. Paul Hackett said yesterday, I've got to get Doug involved. He's been great about it. He hasn't complained, but heck, hey, this is the best tight end in the NFC. He's a Pro Bowler year after year, and we've got to get him the ball.
And on the left is Paul Hackett, who came over from Bill Walsh in the 49ers to try to juice up the Cowboys offense.
He may very well be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
An issue that he refuses to discuss, we might add.
And I don't blame him.
1st and 10 at the 44. They send Dorsett in motion with Walker, and it's Herschel Walker stopped in his tracks. And for an NFL Today report, here's Brent Musburger.
Well, Dick, the Bears were about to block this punt by Greg Coleman. He picked up the rush. There's a hole, and he ran for 16 yards, and now the Vikings are on the move. They've gone down inside midfield. They still lead the Bears 13-0. Let's go back to Dick.
Isn't it amazing how teams turn around from one week to another? We saw the Bear-Viking game, right? The first time.
Well, we sure did, and it was totally dominated by the Bears. 23-0, I think, the final.
2nd and 10 at the 44. Newsom replaces Walker. Pelora drills it. Picked off by Andre Waters. Into Dallas territory to the 44. A 21-yard return and the 4th interception for Andre Waters this year.
It almost looked like Pelora made up his mind that he was going to throw it to Mike Sherrard, because look at the double coverage. Terry Hogue in front, Andre Waters right there behind. throw to the guy who's double coverage. You got to look for the guy who's only got single coverage. That time a mistake by Pallur means a Philly interception.
2 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first half. 1st and 10 Eagles on the Cowboy 44. Quick pass to Quick. And he couldn't hold on, defended by Ron Fellows. They wanted the slant in play that could have gotten them 6 as Andre Waters in the sunlight. The second Eagle interception of the game, the first one by Roynell Young.
And that's where coaches say, just do what I tell you and good things will happen. That time they played the zone defense perfectly. They had the double coverage on Sherrard. And as often happens, a quarterback will try to force the football. That time Steve Pallur did, and it ends up being Andre Waters in the right place at the right time, and he gets the interception.
But the Eagles will try to capitalize. And so far, they haven't been able to dent the Dallas defense. Haddock's the lone running back. Kavanaugh will throw. If he can, and he can't. Don Smerrick will get credit for the 4th sack of the game by the Dallas defense. And a loss of 5 yards. You pointed out before, Dan, that Kavanaugh should just get rid of the ball even if his receivers are covered.
Well, it's really difficult that time to fault the Philadelphia offensive line because it looked like Matt Kavanaugh had a lot of time. The fans are booing him, and I think they can accept the quarterback being knocked down. But I don't know how much longer they're going to put up with Matt Kavanaugh sitting down in the middle of a heavy rush. Make something happen. Throw it away or get knocked down, but don't sit on the field.
2-minute warning is upon us in Philadelphia with Dallas in front. The Eagles have had a rough schedule so far. In the first 4 weeks, they played nothing but unbeaten teams. Last week, the Giants, and now the Dallas Cowboys. And they come in 2-4 and trail here. And on 3rd and 15, as you look at the timeout story, Randall Cunningham is in there, not in the shotgun.
No, he's more comfortable under center. Buddy Ryan said he was spending too much time in the shotgun looking at the football and not downfield, so he brought him under center.
Flag is down. 2 of them, in fact. Cunningham completes to Mike Quick at the 41, short of a first down by 7 yards. Everson Walls defending. Red Cashin will give us some more news.
Well, somebody from Dallas was across the ball. The question just is now, were they pulled across? No, they weren't. So Philadelphia will get another chance.
It'll be 3rd and 10 when they do. 1:54 on the clock.
Offsides. Number 60 on the defense. Still 3rd down.
That's Don Smerrick who gets the penalty. He's lined up right here, and he's going to move before the snap of the football. He'll be across the ball. Clearly. His left foot all the way across the football. The Eagles were nowhere near the first down. Now they get another chance.
3rd and 10 for Cunningham at the Cowboy 44. The whistle blows. He was in the grass, and that'll be the 5th sack of the game for the Dallas Cowboys. Jim Jeffcoat was one of the big blue shirts in there.
You have to wonder if because of Randy White's sore hamstring that the Dallas Cowboys aren't just going with the 3-man pass rush. In a passing situation like that, you sure hate to give up a sack. You're going to see some people filter in late just because of how long it takes, but a 3-man pass rush, when it gets a sack, your offensive line is falling apart.
So John Telchik will be in to kick again, and so the Eagles have forged 2 turnovers as Banks is back and have not been able to capitalize. Good kick by Telchik. And the ball is into the end zone for a touchback. 1:19 on the clock. Good kick of 52 yards, but Philadelphia can't do anything offensive.
Randy White pulled his hamstring a couple of weeks ago in the Denver game, very early in the ball game, sat out the rest of the game. He told me yesterday that last week against Washington, he decided to go in the first half without it being taped. He said, what a mistake that was. I had to go in at halftime, get acupuncture, get my hamstring taped, and I think we can see that it's still bothering him because Dallas going with a 3-man pass rush. You just don't take a guy like Randy White out of the lineup unless he's hurt.
The Eagles have a net of only 3 yards passing. And keep in mind, last week they had no yards passing until the closing minutes of that disaster against the Giants. 1st and 10 at the 20. There's the timeout story in the clock. The report is that the hamstring has tightened up and he'll move in and out of the lineup as he feels. Ballure out of the shotgun, gets it to Herschel Walker. Walker brought down finally. Terry Hogue, one of the Eagles, in on the play. Clyde Simmons, the other.
Screen play all the way. Herschel Walker coming out. Dallas going with the no-huddle offense underway.
2nd down and 1. Ballure, penalty marker down. Incomplete. Going for Cosby up the middle, and Gary Cobb was defending, and a penalty. And that will be against Dallas. Well, Herschel Walker so far has caught 5 passes. He grabbed 6 against the Redskins last week. So you see how the Cowboys are using it.
They would like to get it in his hands every single down. You know, one of the things we talked about, and it really is obvious, is that Herschel Walker is enjoying the fact that Tony Dorsett is the I-back as we get Red's call.
Illegal motion, number 75 on the offense, still 2nd down.
That's Phil Pozderac, the right tackle.
But things open up so much more for Herschel Walker when Tony Dorsett is still a threat. When Tony's at the I-back, look at all the motion you can do with a Herschel Walker. You can use him as a wide receiver. You can use him as a flanker. You can use him as a back in motion. But with Dorsett on the sideline, Herschel Walker is pretty well isolated in the backfield, and I think it's easier to defend the Dallas offense with Dorsett on the bench.
As was the case against Denver. 2nd and 6. Walker. Almost got away from Andre Waters. A little kicking going on there before Hogue makes the play. Interesting how guys come into the league and what you call them. People don't say Walker. They say Herschel Walker. You notice that about this guy? Out of huddle, 1st and 10 at the 32. Ballure getting rushed. And the pass is caught by Tony Hill. And a 1st down at midfield for the Cowboys. 17-yard gain. Evan Cooper was with him.
Let's take a look at this. We're going to see the blitz come in right here from the Eagles. Andre Waters is going to come. There he comes up the middle from the bottom. We've got Brainard Wilson as well. And Ballure takes the shot but throws a good strike to Tony Hill. And that time Evan Cooper was giving him a lot of room on the sidelines, Dick.
24 seconds remain in the 1st half. The Cowboys have 2 timeouts remaining, and Danny White has come into the ball game. We said he would be available, and I guess he is.
Well, Ballure took that shot. He must be hurt.
1st and 10, and White, incomplete, was going for Renfro, and Roydell Young was defending on the play. So here's Danny White, who's had that hip injury.
And Steve Ballure, after getting hit on the last play, got up awful slow. And Tom Landry must have felt that he couldn't continue. And look, now here comes Ballure back in and Danny White out.
Well, it reminds us of the first year of the Cowboys when Eddie LeBaron and Don Meredith used to come in and out play by play.
Well, Tom Landry will use anybody as messengers, although he's into the high-tech era now of using hand signals. But back then, like Paul Brown, he'd rather use players.
2nd down and 10. That much time remaining. 1st half, 7-0 Dallas. Ballure up the middle. He was going for Cosby, and the Eagles were all around the tight end, especially Gary Cobb. It'll be 3rd and 10. Eddie LeBaron and Don Meredith. And that first year, the Cowboys didn't win any games, but they had 1 tie, and that was against the Giants.
Were you there?
No, but I read about it in my later years.
I was still a toddler, Dick. I wouldn't remember any of that, any of those. You know, what, 1960 was that?
Yeah, I collected your football card those years.
I already had a mustache, yeah.
And I traded you for 3 Jim Browns.
That time, that was a good deal for you.
3rd down and 10 at the 49. Ballure. And he gets it out to Timmy Newsome. short of a first down by 2 yards, but the Cowboys are looking for a field goal possibility here, and they have the ball at the 43 with 9 seconds remaining. And he must have gone out of bounds unless the Cowboys called a timeout, and they did not.
No, he went out of bounds. Of course, now there's a double-edged sword facing the Cowboys. They've got 4th down, so they have to get enough yardage to pick up a first down, but they've got to work the sidelines.
They are going to call the timeout now. That leaves them with 1, and there's Raphael Septien. Walker has gained 33 yards on the ground and 31 on 5 receptions through the air. The clock is the key here. And I guess 4th down, too. Valor. To Walker. He's got it inside the 15. 1 second to go, and the clock has run out. And that'll be the end of the first half. The Cowboys apparently did not call timeout quick enough. And that's the danger of a pass play in that situation.
It's exactly what we talked about. The extra second or 2 it takes to come out of the backfield and work downfield. That time worked against the Dallas Cowboys as they weren't able to stop the clock. You'll see the clock moving in the lower right-hand corner. Valor took some extra time to step up. You know, if Herschel Walker would have gone right down, and you know what, looking at that clock, Dick, there was 2 seconds when he hit the ground, but that doesn't stop the clock. A timeout has to stop the clock.
And of course, it's always tough to tell a player he has to go down right away. And Tom Landry says, I think if I can read lips, that they had 2 seconds remaining. But the players have left the field. Now Tom Landry will as well.
There was 2 seconds left on the clock. We see Tony Hill.
But it'll be 7-0 Dallas at halftime. That's the way it is.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mitsubishi Motors. Experience the sensation of the full line of new cars and trucks from Mitsubishi. And by Radio Shack, the computer experts.